Hey you guys, welcome back to the series Portal to Your Soul. Today we're going to be doing the High Priestess. Now, admittedly, I wasn't going to record this tonight, but I've really been wanting to get this video out. So, we're going with rawness today, okay? I am not like prepared. We're going to be reading notes, okay? We're going to be hoping for the best, all right? But it's going to be great. It's going to be great. So, if you haven't checked out the previous videos to the series, highly suggest you do that. It starts off with the Fool, and those lessons in that video will come up in this one. It'll come up in all of that. I explain it there. So check that out, okay? Let's talk about the High Priestess, the Divine Feminine of Tarot. I really read her a lot as like the dark feminine, you know, embracing that energy. I did a podcast episode on that. Check it out, Spotify, Your Silhouette. It's under season 1. This deals with your intuition, your sacred knowledge, your psychic gifts, okay? Your subconscious mind, knowing the secrets behind the veil, knowing how things work. It's your connection to spirit and also your connection to self. Now, when this card is coming up reversed, when it's coming up blocked for you, a lot of times that can talk about like a blocked intuition. I read it a lot because I focus on the shadow work, right? As mistaking like survival mode, okay, for your intuition, for your gut instinct. It can also talk about deceit, hidden agendas, gossip. But mostly a big one I see is like that trauma response, replacing what your soul is telling you, your conditioning, because your brain's just trying to keep you safe. So it's alert, 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 and we think that's our intuition. And that's how we're basing the decisions we're making. Or we're in autopilot and we don't have the luxury of connecting with ourselves to know what we're really feeling, right? We're just doing what we think is right, okay? This is not your brain. This is Pisces energy. It's water. It's emotion. It's feeling your way through this. It's being spiritually blind and guiding your way. It's your inner compass, okay? So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about mistaking trauma responses and survival mode as your intuition. Our intuition is our guidance system. It's guiding us. It's pulling us forward. It's our offense, okay? Survival mode is our brain, okay? Constantly scanning for threat. It's fear keeps us restricted, or it forces us, okay? That's that defense energy. That's the difference. So many of us were conditioned to ignore our intuition in favor of staying in survival mode or autopilot, for being rational, right? Anyone heard of female hysteria? Yeah. We would have been burned alive for leading into our High Priestess. Yes, we would have. Okay. We were taught to be fearful and untrusting of what we can't see. And it's left us spiritually bankrupt, to be quite fucking frank. Okay? A lot of you guys know that I started doing what I do here. I picked up tarot. I found my soul. I got into spirituality. I went from being an atheist to being some guru because I have a friend that took their life. And I asked her one time why, and she gave me the High Priestess in the reverse. That girl was disconnected. She couldn't trust herself. And oh my God, bless her. Gina was so before her time. She was so cool. My earliest messages when I go back, okay, this was, oh my God, I don't know, 2009, 2010. I'm like, hey, do you know where we can get tarot readings anywhere? Like, I just thought they were neat, you know? Like, oh, that's my girl. She was so before her time. She couldn't trust it. She couldn't trust herself. She was trying to fit into a conditioned world, to an autopilot world. And it cost her her life. It cost her her connection with her soul. This isn't a joke. In reality, your intuition is actually more accurate than your brain trying to keep you safe could ever be. It's quick. The good news is this: even if you have lived in autopilot or survival mode all of your life, the intuition is like a muscle and it can be strengthened. Okay, there's not a lost cause here, right? We just have to go to the spiritual gym, build it up, right? But in order to do that, we have to know our baseline energy. We have to know who we are when we're calm, when threat is removed. We can't have our brain constantly scanning for threat, for fear. If we are living in chaotic, unstable environments, toxic environments, relationships, how will we ever be able to connect with ourselves? Okay, the first step in getting to know your baseline energy is being able to discern that gut instinct from this is fear. I personally have found it very helpful to be mindful that worrying is suffering twice. I love that quote because it's so true. What's going to happen is going to happen. It's that faith. That's that full energy we talked about. What's meant to be will be. Magician energy, as above, so below. We talked about control and living freely when we did the full video. And so if you're struggling with that, I just really suggest you go and watch that video again, because that's about taking that leap of faith. And that's something that you just have to be willing to do, to trust, to surrender, to come out of autopilot before we can get to this point. Okay, there is kind of like that step-by-step process here. They go hand in hand. All right. If you feel like it isn't fear that's holding you back, it might be time to reflect on if you're being honest with yourself about your feelings about the situation. Maybe what you feel is very inconvenient. Okay. Regardless of what you think things should be, what you desire things to be, understand that the reality is going to speak for itself, and reality is truth. And truth is the frequency to God. By you tuning into yourself, to your truth, listening to your gut instinct, you are listening to the divine within you. You don't have to search outside of yourself anymore all of a sudden. When we embrace the truth, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how uncomfortable it is, that's when we're embracing God. We're asking the divine to hold us in this illumination, right? Like I said, it's like we are, spiritually blind. We've been in this dark basement just having to guide. We're trusting that we're going to be safe for the divine to turn the lights on and for us to look around. And sometimes that's painful. Like, have you ever gone into, like, you were in like a dark room, the movie theater, right? And then you walk out, like sometimes it's almost like painful for the light to hit you like that. We need a moment. Embracing the frequency of truth is accepting an invitation from God to know the divinity within yourself. It's forming that relationship. It's beautiful. It's sacred. It truly is sacred knowledge. There's so much comfort and healing in truth, even if it's inconvenient. It's like, but you can settle here. Even if you don't like it, it's stable, it's solid, it's not moving. Sometimes we get so caught up in autopilot or our projections, what we wish it would be, right? That we don't even realize that we have this huge block due to like our repressed feelings. Or we don't even realize that we've been missing signs or the synchronicities from the divine, because, oh my God, pay attention. Nothing's a coincidence. We talk about that all the time. Synchronicity is my Bible. I've said that. I have a podcast episode titled Synchronicity is my Bible. Like, check that out. When I gave up believing in coincidences, my life got so much better. I found connection with myself. I found connection with my friend, and it was personalized to me. It was mine. Nobody could take it. It doesn't matter if people believe me. I still experience it, and it's for me, and it lights up the inner child in me. It lights up the magic within me, and I discovered my direct connection to God. My inner child that felt neglected, disposed of, people that I tried to love, to give my heart to, that walked away from me, God held that. Think about it. The healthiest relationships between two people are those that are completely honest with each other, right? So to do that, you must be truthful with yourself. You are literally forming a connection with God. They're being honest with you and you're letting down your guard. You're receiving that. You're trusting it. And also, the most fulfilling careers happen when we're in touch with what we really want in life, when we honor that, when we're truthful with that. It's like when we embrace the truth, even if it's inconvenient, things get better. That's when our manifestation comes in, our magician power. And this is what I mean by we can only meet people as deeply as we've met ourselves. It starts with ourself always. It can multiply, you can grow, you can nourish that relationship, but you have to start at the baseline. You have to start at you. When you learn to be honest with yourself, you gain self-esteem, you gain compassion, you cultivate self-love, you build a relationship with yourself. I developed that masculine feminine tarot spread. A lot of you have done it with me. It's beautiful. And it's all about like, I trust myself to listen to my emotions. I trust myself to listen to what boundaries I need. And then I trust myself to protect myself and honor those things. You're showing up for yourself. You're telling your soul, I'm trustworthy. I'm brave enough to look at this truth and I won't look the other way. I won't ignore the red flags, right? Hindsight's always 20/20. You don't have to live like that anymore. Okay? I think it helps to remember that knowledge is power. Like, this is all happening for you, not to you. You can't get your ego in the way here. As this begins to build momentum, it gets a lot easier to be uncomfortable and accept the truth for what it is. That ego is not so thick anymore, you know? Because one, you now know what personal sanctuary is. It's so freaking sacred and so precious. You know the frequency of God, okay? Nothing can ever be like taken from you, robbed from you, tainted. That's yours. It's your safety. That's where you are always safe. All is already illuminated for you. There's no surprises. There's no rug being pulled out from underneath you. It's not about you being right. It's about truth. You feel safe to finally start to really live because you're not constantly scanning in survival mode. Is this person going to fuck me over? Can I really trust this opportunity? You know that. You're going to feel it in your energy. You're going to receive signs, synchronicities from spirit. You're going to get those downloads. You're going to feel it. You're going to know. Living in the frequency of truth has a lot to do with honoring your own personal morals and your personal values. Knowing that, we'll talk about that when we get to the Hierophant. Okay? Honoring your right from wrong is very important there. So we'll talk about that lesson then. But let's just maybe end on like some signs. We're gonna keep this a short video. I was gonna make it like an extra long video. I was, but I want to get it out to you guys. So it's important, okay? I know that these are like not super long videos, but you wouldn't believe the amount of like time of research and effort and love it takes to do the research and stuff of what I'm trying to get out to you guys. Plus like personal experience. A lot of the times it's because, like I said, I'm going through that energy. I'm embodying this energy where I'm balancing things out, you know? But anyway, let's talk about how to be honest with yourself, okay? Or excuse me, signs that you're not being honest with yourself. Signs that you're not being honest with yourself. Self-sabotage. Yeah, you're afraid of success, okay? Or maybe you feel guilty or shame or like you don't deserve it. Your limiting beliefs tell us that we might lose like success or relationships, or our friends are going to judge us. Our family's going to judge us if we do the right thing, if we do what we want to do, if we're honest with ourselves. You know, people are going to, you know, we'll become ostracized, you know. We complain, but we take no action. We hate our job, but we stay. We're unhappy with our friends, but we don't make an effort to make new ones, or a relationship, right? Your feminine receiving energy, we're going to talk about this in the next video for the Empress. That could be blocked, okay? Like your ability to receive love, support, your ability to accept criticism. Are you being defensive from feedback, especially if it's from like a trustworthy source, right? Are you able to self-reflect? How self-aware are you? Okay. Pay attention to your body. Remember that, okay? Tension, okay? Stress, illness, irregular sleep, depression, feeling angry. Your body is sending you signs. It's communicating with you all the time that, hey, something's off. All the time will I be like, spiritual meaning of, you know, a headache or whatever. It's like there's a deeper reason. We're not living in coincidences, right? Okay. So how to be honest with yourself. Be vulnerable. Step into that pain. Observe it. Validate it. Give it a moment. This is the one. This is the one that's got this video caught up. I'm telling you. Because I had to really master that. I did, because I have this sacred knowledge, right? For those of you that listen to my podcast, my friend Bethany and I did episodes together a while back, and I was speaking with her about this, and oh my gosh, I really need to get her on here to talk to you guys about this with me, because I was driving my Libra moon, I was driving myself nuts with, okay, I have this sacred knowledge of souls. Everybody's doing the best they can, and you know, it's not personal, and people are operating from different levels of awareness and understanding and learning how to live this way. And honestly, it's some of my favorite traits come from that. It makes me extremely compassionate, extremely empathetic, and I don't take things so personally. I have this higher knowledge. At the same time, I'm a human, right? So, of course, if somebody fucks me over, are my feelings hurt? Am I mad? Yeah. But at the same time, I was always like, well, I have this sacred knowledge. I understand, you know, they're just operating from a certain level of consciousness. I wasn't stopping to validate my anger. So that is such a critical step, I found. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people actually have a easier time validating their anger and dealing with the pain. And my Scorpio ass was backwards. I like sat in the pain and grief and like dealt with all that, and it was actually the door of anger. I had a hard time, but it robbed me from being able to have a clear nervous system, to trust my intuition, to gain downloads, because I was being blocked. So make sure you clear that out, okay? Also reflecting on your decisions, okay, or your actions. Journaling every day is so helpful. I love journaling. It's a wonderful tool. What did you do right today? What could you do better, as a reflection entry? Also, visualizing your future, right? Visualization manifestations are awesome. They provide clarity on what you really want and what your priorities should be when you're thinking about what really matters, when you're remaining focused on the goal and you're trusting that inner compass to get there. Also, developing self-awareness through shadow work, right? So check out that magician video, because we talk about how everything's a mirror. So you can use that divine tool, right? The good, the bad, the ugly. It's all meant to reflect something back to you, to teach you, to bring you back home to the frequency of truth, okay? So the High Priestess is the stage in life where we discover why we are the way we are. We get that clarity, that understanding. And a lot of the times it is through shadow work, psychology, therapy. I know it was for me. Mental health and spirituality, like we want to enmesh those for sure, okay? But then we're also, when we understand why we are the way we are, we're given the gift of understanding others. Everything's a mirror, right? We see in others what's within ourselves. It provides that understanding. I'm forgiving and compassionate with people because I've had to forgive and be compassionate with myself for things I carried such deep shame for, such deep guilt for, that was blocking my gifts. And I know my heart. I know my intention, my pure soul. I know even when it didn't look like it, I really was trying my best, operating from a vibration that I knew, using the tools I had. And sometimes that looked very chaotic. And a lot of the times in the past, I was the bad guy. But I wasn't evil. And so it's this gift to have this peace of understanding others. When you understand yourself, it's this gift of peace. You stop taking shit so personally. In addition to knowing the secrets within, that's when you start to learn the secrets outside of yourself, the secrets of how shit works, you know, why we're here, the purpose of it all. When you're tapped in, you're awakened to the communication is everywhere. You're always being guided through nature. It's beautiful. I mean, like, animals are so big. Like, yeah, all of a sudden you're an energy reader. You know what I mean? It's just, again, it's so personalized for you. And you don't have to tell anybody. It's between you and God. No one to impress, you know? It's beautiful. I love it. The purpose of synchronicities are to connect you to your higher self, to remain in alignment. It's literally follow the yellow brick road. It's the breadcrumbs to get to where you're going, why your soul came here. What did you sign up for? Okay, you're being led through these signs. And again, this is very personalized. It's your own personal connection with spirit, with your guides. It's beautiful. It really is what heals the void within. Like, I was actually talking to my therapist about this, about like that like missing piece within, and we agreed that usually that's a lack of connection with God, with spirit, with something bigger than you. And this is what it really allows you to provide. It's that unique, special love you've been craving your whole life. You looked for in parents, relationships, friends. Each time that I discover a sign, it feels like I'm being chosen again and again. I get to be the favorite. I get to be the pick-me girl with God. I'm chosen. I'm the favorite. It's the love of a lifetime. I'm never forgotten about. The divine is always there waiting to just shower you with unconditional love. It never ends. It's, again, your personal sanctuary. And I don't know about you guys, but that fucking awakens the magic within me. You know, to know you're so supported. And it's so untraditional, right? It's in silence. But it's beautiful, and it really fuels what I want to put out in the world. And we'll talk about that more in the Empress video. Okay, so hopefully I will not make you guys wait like I did for this video. I want to pump these out to you. Ideally, I do one weekly. Kids are about to be home for school. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. Again, I also embody these lessons. So I'm a very real human, and I appreciate your patience, but I hope this helped, okay? If it did, leave feedback. It helps so much. Please consider sharing, subscribing. I want this to help as many people as it can, okay? Like, I'm trying to offer you some wisdom here, all right? Tarot is a beautiful divination tool. It was given to us to help us. Like, let's fucking go, all right? So much love to you guys. Be well, and I'll see you on the next one.